Yeah, we're back again. This is Live Conversations. Welcome. My name is Ezine Azuna, your host. And today we are here discussing issues bordering female inclusion in the maritime industry. We're taking it from the perspective of seafarers. And you can see I have very beautiful ladies here with me. Live Conversations is a program designed by Maritime TV. Our focus is to reach every stakeholder wherever they are on the face of the earth, and our discussions border around things we think would influence the industry towards growth. Would like also to say special thank you to the Maritime Academy of Nigeria for its support of the show, and to every one of you who have joined in. We've already hit 100 plus this morning. So thank you for joining in this morning. A quick teaser for you. Do you know that there are 196 members of the Female Seafarers Association of Nigeria, FESAN? Of that number, we have one master mariner, that's a captain, who is a female. We have one chief engineer. We have 2 chief officers. We have 19 second engineers. We have 31 second and third officers. We have 122 cadets, 5 marine pilots, and 8 of them working ashore. Of these 196 female seafarers, just 87 of them are currently employed. 109 are unemployed. Also, there was the recent news of 32 female seafarers who had their CLCs expire in their hands. So joining me to discuss, the issues on ground are these beautiful ladies here today. So here is Danke Danjuma. Danke made a first class in marine engineering, and she's a third engineer, a beneficiary also of the NSDP. Welcome to the show, Danke.
Thank you very much.
All right, beside Danke is Disse. Let's try that name again. Udaway. So Disse holds, is a third engineer, and she holds a BSc in marine engineer. Oh, why did both of you sit close to each other? They are both beneficiaries of the NSDP. And here we have the queen, amphibious queen, Angela Isi Dahome, and she has over 10 years experience in the industry. She's been offshore working, and she worked with a multinational too. She has HND in nautical science, PGD in marine transport technology, and she has a desire to further her education, going to Sweden, right? Yeah, to the Maritime University. We have with us a beauty queen in the house. She is with the College of Fisheries. She's a student of the College of Fisheries, and she's the industry beauty queen. She was beauty queen for 2019. So let us make welcome also Happiness Ikeru. Thank you for joining us on Live Conversations today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so let's go straight to the discussion and let's just bring it home. IMO has said that less than 2% of women less than 2% of seafarers or women in the industry or people in the industry are women. So let's take it from there. You're so far the oldest amongst seafarers in this place, So Angela, what do you think our campaign for female inclusion in the maritime industry, how serious are we with it?
Yeah, we are serious on it, and we really want to take this forward because in the industry, we don't have much females. Like here in Nigeria, we don't have much females like compared to our male counterparts. There are more, and we are out to just like create that awareness, because sometimes you hear cases, situations of we are not aware of females, we don't know. So we formed the body, FESAN, Female Seafarers Association of Nigeria, and we're here to like speak out on behalf of these females to create that awareness and make that move that, okay, we are here, we have females who are capable, who can do it, who are competent. So they should consider us and you know.
Okay, you are representing FESAN here. You're representing the president of FESAN. But my question is, as an industry, you know, not FESAN now. We know FESAN is you, so you're pursuing your thing. But do you, as a group, also think that the industry is paying enough attention to you?
For now, I would say it's not yet enough, because you say Nigeria, we have this cultural thing, like, as a woman, they'll be like, as a woman, why are you even in this industry? You're supposed to go and get this a male job. What are you doing here? You know, some kind of funny questions, like as if making you to feel like you're in the wrong place. You
Okay,
know?
did you experience that?
Sure, I did.
All right, let's go to, I'll come back to you. So let's go to Danke. Please, you left the NSDP program since 2019 with a first class.
Yes.
Why aren't you working?
Because I've not been able to get placements on board, and majority of times I've been to crewing agents, I've been to companies, and the major response I get is we do not have cabins for ladies on board this vessel, or in our company we do not employ ladies because of certain reasons, or certain reasons that they refuse to let us know why they do not let ladies in their companies or crew ladies.
Okay, so you believe that there is a restriction in the industry when it comes to ladies?
Yes.
There's a bar.
There's a bar, there's a high bar that has been raised, and it needs to be brought down in order to encourage ladies that are forthcoming into the industry, so that they would be able to have a very good stay in the industry. Because if we do not have employment right now, then what about the ladies that are upcoming? What about the ladies that are looking up to us and want to join us in the industry?
So do you think that, I would ask that so please, do you think that we're not serious with our campaign because of these restrictions?
Well, serious. We are serious and we're not serious, because we are few. We see ourselves with few that are been not so much yet. They should be able to open that space for us to come in, but we're not getting that. So that's more like a discouragement, and the whole sensitization of trying to make people realize that we are here. We don't have that voice yet because our database says we're not up to, and we can easily just be blown away like we don't need the people here. But the thing is, if they can basically allow us have admission into schools to study maritime, they should be able to create that space to welcome us too. Having these stories about cabins not being available for female to come in, and then there's some nasty comments that they make sometimes that we women, we have problems at sea.
Whoa.
Basically, yes.
Whoa.
I've had that severally. There were problems at sea. Problems in the sense that probably we're one or just two on board the vessel and working with 20 men, and everybody's like, oh, that's a target. We need to have her. And then, whether you're not
Forthcoming.
they just start spiting you, not being able to work hand in hand with you. And the first rule we learn in school is fault of one is actually fault of all. So why discriminate me that I'm supposed to be part of the crew just because I'm saying no to you? And then some people end up forthcoming, and then they say we have problems. Like a particular girl causing problems with two men on board the vessels and the rest of it. So because of that, stakeholders usually are withdrawn to allow us in, because there's no punishment for misbehavior. That's what we've come to realize, because most of the time when there's this sexual harassment game on board the vessel, it's the girls that end up suffering for it.
Okay, thank you, Disa. Ladies will have to speak up a bit more because of our audience, so they hear us properly. But I'm going to come back to you. I had a question I reserved, since yesterday for you, Happiness. But I need to go back to Angela, because she has the experience, and she's representing FESAN here. So if there had been reports on what they've mentioned, cabins not be available for girls, ladies, female seafarers being stereotyped. Has your association in any way channeled, your complaint to the appropriate quarters? Maybe the NIMASA, the Maritime Administration.
Actually, the FESAN was just formed like 2 years ago. So we're actually working on that. We're working on that. Presently, we're trying to merge, or, female seafarers, like I myself, I finished from Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Oron. So, we have females who went to Philippines, Egypt, and the rest. So, we're still on it, trying to come collectively together and see how to push complaints like this forward.
Okay, so probably this movement here is the first outing into. Oh, okay, Happiness. Let me bring the first dose of this question. You are a student, but you were also part of a beauty pageant thing. So you were more like in the face of the industry. What was your experience? Were you taken seriously, or were you looked upon as someone who people would just want to take advantage of?
While I was in the pageant or in my school?
No, in the pageant. The pageant was what brought you into the industry, core industry. At school, you're with your colleagues, but you had to go around, have a pet project, talk to organizations. So what was the reception like? Did you notice any of these biases we're talking about here today?
No, not really. When we went to visit these organizations, they actually welcomed us. And they were actually happy that we are doing this and we want to be part of the industry. So there was not really any kind of bias that we have.
All right, so we'll go on a short break and we'll be right back. So please stay tuned. If you're with us on Instagram, you may need to log in back because we'll come on live again. Thank you very much. The conversation is still on female inclusion in the maritime industry, the perspective or the account of the seafarer. And I would ask Angela, I'm sorry, but I have to do. No, let me go to you. Danke. One of the issues in the industry is about the capability of the female, and so you find. Why did you giggle? It's about the capability of the female. So you find a lot of people always saying that women can't do it, they can't go to sea, they can't weather the storms, everything out there. Did you feel pressure to prove yourself when you went to Egypt, right?
Yes.
You were at Egypt.
Yes.
Did you feel pressured, by the space you found yourself, the maritime community you found yourself, to prove yourself because of your gender?
Yes, I had pressure and I had encouragement from my colleagues, most especially my colleagues, my classmates. They were always rallying around me to see that I prove myself and I do very well. But the major challenge I had was seeking for placement on board, because I've had an experience where a crewing manager saw me, and immediately he saw me, he said, "You're too tiny, you're too little, look at your hands, you look fragile and you look tender. Are you sure you can hold a spanner Are you sure you can hold a screw? And it was very discouraging. It was very heartbreaking, and it was very, very not pleasant experience because I had to think again, and I was like, okay, throughout my academic years, I've had encouragement because it was outside Nigeria. So why coming back home and having such statements? So it really discouraged me, but because of my passion and determination in this career I've chosen, I want to prove myself that beyond reasonable doubt that I can do it.
So do you have them doubting that you actually have a first class? Do you have crew managers doubting organizations you go to pitch? Do they actually doubt that you have a first class in marine engineering?
No, they don't doubt that, but they just doubt the practical side of me proving myself.
Do you have any males who had first class too and have been employed?
Yes.
They have been employed?
Yes.
From the same school?
Yes, from the same school, from the same class, and even ladies also.
They're employed in Nigeria?
Yes.
In Nigeria?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so obviously there is a divide.
Yes.
All right. You giggled all through. So I think there is something you're remembering. Did you ever have to prove yourself as a woman,
Of course.
in the industry?
Yes. Because, okay, aside from the fact that I'm from NSDP, I did, what is it called, my cadetship on my own. Yeah, because of trying to get the NSDP office, trying to get stakeholders to come to terms with them was like taking forever. So I had to go out there to look for a place for myself. So in the process of finding a place for myself, I get side talks of, yes, it was tiny, more like it. Can you hold spanner? Can you do this? Can you stay on board for more than 2 months? You should just go and marry. Kind of, how old are you, safe? Why are they sending you out there? You get, and people forget that strength, that energy that you took to go through school. And then at that point that they're telling you, if you don't have 1 year cadetship, you won't get your certificate. There's more things
That's
that
what
you need to do.
before your COC.
Before
right?
your COC. So the COC is like icing on the cake. But your BSc, most of the time, is tied to it. So if you don't get cadetship, how can you progress? And sometimes you're doing this 1 year, 2 years, you don't have a job, you don't have the cadetship, you're getting discouraged anywhere you go. As soon as you eventually find 1 or 2 persons that want to support you, and they talk to 1 or 2 persons too, and they're like, oh, I didn't know she was a girl.
Oh dear. So obviously the gender is an issue.
It is an issue.
You're tearing up already.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So you've had the longest stay here, Angela, amphibious queen. You've had the longest stay, at sea, over 10 years. Did you ever have to prove yourself extra beyond what guys did? Or did you ever have to lose anything because you are a woman?
Yes. The thing is, there was this particular vessel I worked on board, and okay, then I was already an officer, because so many experiences, but let me just hit on this one. It's a crew boat, and I was a chief officer on that vessel. So I remember there was a particular captain I worked with. Each time I'm on duty, like it's my watch time, he doesn't go to his, he doesn't go down. Do you understand? Because
Lest you lead them astray.
his thoughts. Now, each time when he finishes his duty, I'm to take over, I come up to the bridge and I see him there. He doesn't go down. I don't care anyway. The way I was trained in Maritime Academy, we are trained to be tough. So most times when all this intimidation comes, I don't even bother. In fact, I re-intimidate them back. No, that's it. Because for heaven's sake, this is a profession. This is a career. The vessel is not a place you go and do merry-go-round. The job is the job. So the thing is, of course, is my boss. So I kept quiet. Sometimes when you get to maneuver, He wouldn't want you to, you know. For whatever reason, I don't know. But the body language shows it all, like, woman, a woman. Let me quote, how woman, what woman define for here? You know, that kind of a thing. But the thing is, I didn't bother myself. I was facing the administrative part. He wanted me. Funny enough, sometimes, you know, that administrative part, the paperwork side, maybe because, okay, now woman, let her handle that side. No need to show her maneuvering so that she will not come and take over my job. You know, that kind of holding tight mentality thing. So, but then again, I kept my cool, you know, observing until his reliever came, the person who changed over from him. So the good thing is that reliever that came was, in fact, he's a father. He's a father to me. He encouraged me. He was just observing me. He was like, it's not the person that they are saying is a woman. He taught me. In fact, he goes to sleep. He tells me, he said, look, he used to even call me, I was a chief officer under him, but he addresses me as Captain Angela. Oh. He tells me, he said, why will I be killing myself to be, if I don't show you the work, what if I'm incapacitated? What if anything happens to me? You are next in command. You are to take over. And before you know it, my maneuvering skills was excellent. And it was good. It was that good. It was that good. So, you know, I tend to like close my ears to any form of you can't do it. In fact, the more you keep telling me I can't do it, that's when I keep pushing.
Okay, Happy, what would you think government should be doing? Because, you know, 2019, we even had the vice president's wife attend.
I gave her a good salute.
You gave her a good salute. Yeah. So, wow. Wow. Yet, after saluting the vice president's wife, you do not have a job? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So, you know, after that, you know, people expected that the story would be a bit different, you know. Now, I'm sure you were around. What has changed? Has anything changed?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah,
okay.
side.
We'll come back to you. But let's have Happy. What would you be rooting for as a female now in the industry, a female seafarer? What areas would you want government to immediately begin to address?
Okay, firstly, I think they should make it, probably create awareness for the industry. Like people in the secondary school, they should know, because a whole lot of us don't really know. A whole lot of them don't really know about maritime industry.
So awareness, but beyond awareness, do we have a feedback system? All the 10 years plus you were at sea, was there a feedback system that would allow you report, even without being victimized, whether to the ship owner or to the maritime administrator, you know? Was there any point in time you had to do that?
Personally, there was no point in time I had to report to anyone. Like then, during my days of sourcing for cadetship, I remember there was a company I went to in search of placements, and they looked at my documents. This is good, you have this, okay. Because in Maritime Academy, we did ND and HND. So then I finished my ND and I was looking for my 12 months cadetship sea term. So the man was like, you're a female, we don't want women on board, we don't want you people's wahala. So I was down like...
So there's a stereotype.
Yeah, there is.
This was as far as 2009.
2009?
Yes, I had that experience with a shipping company I went to look for cadetship. So, but you know, along the line, I didn't give up. I kept going from place to place, submitting my CV, you know, trying to just act smart to make sure I get to that office and being noticed. So it got to a point where one time the company I had to join along the line, what happened was I had to there was a colleague, a classmate of mine then, she was lucky enough, she was on board a vessel already. So, you know, time to time, whenever they come to on airport, I go to visit her. You know, that eagerness of, I just finished from Maritime, I'm supposed to be on board, I studied nautical science. So if not for anything, I'll be like, okay, let me just go and see a vessel. Let me just look at it and encourage myself. You know, that kind of, yes. So on getting there was when I now met another captain of the vessel they were tied alongside together. So the captain was like, do you work here? I said, I'm a cadet, but I don't have a placement yet. So good enough, I was like, okay, our company, this vessel you came to visit, your friend, the same company is the one doing our managing us, screening us, that he can help me speak to someone inside. This was someone I never knew. He's an Italian captain. So I said, yes, I've been going to the place and this is, so he now gave me a note. It was that note that was my breakthrough because I don't have any connection. I don't know anybody in the industry.
Wow. You mentioned cadetship, you know. We have 122 cadets at FESAN. You're a member of FESAN also, yes. So I really would want to know what you're doing. 122 cadets, which means 122 people waiting for sea time.
For sea time.
122 females.
So far on our record.
On your record, yes. Waiting for sea time in Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, what is the group? Let me ask her. I hope I can.
Sure.
What's the group you want to?
Yes.
You want to? Okay. What's the group?
Skills from my computer.
Okay. So let me have your view on this.
Okay. Basically, our Ed, I would like to withhold her name. She's trying to talk to stakeholders and finding out the reasons why they don't take us, and to see how they can actually include us in their daily things, because most of these women, they don't have their mandatories anymore. It's expired.
Yes, I learned that.
And it takes 5 years for that to expire.
Whoa, so females stay 5 years with their COCs?
With their mandatories.
Mandatories, okay.
First. Expired.
And all of them expired?
No job.
All right.
And without that mandatory, you can't board a vessel.
No, but obviously we need to push this conversation a little more forward, you know. We need to get to the relevant bodies, because this is alarming that we have people with their mandatories and they stay 5 full years. I recall that the 32 ladies who identified themselves on LinkedIn, you know, they were part of the people who had these, expire. So, but that's not good.
It doesn't come cheap. So when you...
How much does it cost to have this?
I don't know the exact price for just the mandatories in Maritime Academy or the other accredited centers to take it, but the truth is maritime education doesn't come cheap at all.
Yes, it's expensive.
So when you're at that point looking for a job, going from place to place, mostly you travel to Lagos, Port Harcourt, or wherever you are, just to see that you get placement. And at the end of the day, with those transport fare, everything, you don't get placement.
Duncan, do you ever regret taking up maritime engineering, marine engineering?
No.
Okay, so the industry has not beaten you to the point of regret. Angela, you're currently not at work.
Yes.
What happened?
I'm currently not at work, and how do I even start from? Okay, let me start from the latest.
Well,
the latest is...
Nip it in the bud because we don't have a lot of time.
Okay, fine. Okay, for a while, I switched to shore-based operations. Not that I've left the sea. Okay, now I'm a family woman. Okay. I am married with a kid.
Okay.
So, and my baby, she's still small. Like, I can't leave her now to go to sea. So that's why I fell back to work ashore. So, and unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic thing, we had a downsize where I worked and I was affected. So I'm still on the search and I'm still open for employment, even if it's the maritime training centers, training institutes. I could pass down the few knowledge I had so far, and then until I'm ready to brace up again and go back. Yes. So that's my plan. So still on the search.
What do you think, Happy, about this entire conversation? I really want to I want to go beyond the visage of a beauty queen. I know a lot is going on within you, but you've been groomed to be prime and proper. So let us into your thoughts on when you think of this entire thing. Do you see light in the tunnel? Since you're still in school, do you see light in the tunnel going by everything you...
Yes, because I can see them already trying to make way for us. So I feel there's hope
Okay.
Nah.
If they fight well.
I know they will fight. They are trying actually. I know there's hope. But now I'm not even there yet, but I can still see like a lot of people trying to discourage me. Like after my year two, I should just switch either to nursing or something else.
Oh dear, you have that happening.
Yes, that I shouldn't be doing this. That there's no
People are actually discouraging you because of their experiences already.
Including the guys, they're like,
Including the guys.
don't pick them, finish.
Oh my well.
It's now me, they will pick.
Shouldn't
something
we be
like that.
calling for a policy for female inclusion in this country?
Yes.
Shouldn't government be looking at a situation where there's a percentage of women on board any vessel that trades here? Don't you think that?
Yes.
Let me have your thoughts on that,
Yes.
Danke.
Yes, I think MASA and relevant agencies should develop and implement strategies and policies that would encourage recruiting and retaining women on board vessels. And concerning the issue of cabins,
On the issue of cabins, I learned that LNG is the same. They don't have that segregation. So
Yes.
why do we have other ship owners telling us there are no cabins for females?
Yes, I had my sea term in a vessel and we had to share a cabin, 4 ladies. And for the 6 months we were on board, it was very comfortable and we were able to maneuver our way and everything went on smoothly. So I think the government need to do something immediately. They need to implement policies and ensure that these policies are actually implemented by the...
I'll go back to this. Do you actually think that, for want of any other word, because you were sponsored by government, right, for this training, how do you feel about not, seeing it from point A to Z, Z being the point that you're on board and working effectively?
What do I say? Okay. I think sometimes we have this Nigerian mentality of that when we get there, we cross over. And that's why we are at this point. Because if we don't do when we get there, we cross over, the policies would have been made, strategies, as you go along, you get from A to B, Z to the end point. But here we are, stuck.
Angela, what's FESAN's call? What are you asking government to do? What are you wanting, that female seafarers get, given all your experience? I'm sure we've not talked about sexual harassment. I'm sure. Why are you guys giggling? Like it's common?
It's common.
It's common?
Most especially with Nigerian crew. It is common.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Well, on my part, I would say it happens. I've
You're
heard
a tough person, Jerry. You don't know. And they will see you and they will be afraid of you, first of all. That you break their head.
you reminded me of something. There was a day we were at on airport and these customs immigration, they came on board for their paper checks. So they went through the crew list and they were like, you are the female, only you. How are you coping with this men? And I asked him, I said, no, you asked them, how are they coping with me? You understand? But it's tough. It's tough.
It's tough. But there is a level of grace you need to
exactly.
to conquer
There is a
that.
level of grace you need to
Because
have.
you're coming against a wall of limitation.
Yes.
A wall of limitation. You know,
Yes.
people have stereotyped you. And so you must come as somebody who is determined to succeed in that sector.
Exactly.
And that's what I see you exude. So perhaps that's some of the things you should do more, don't you think?
Yes.
It's not as if everybody is not making their own side of it. It's not trying to feel comfortable and say it's not existent because you have that strength to push it. It is. We get it on a daily basis, even as you fight. Keep fighting. You just get it.
All right, probably we'll take your word on behalf of FESAN. Lastly, I'll call for the phone now. Let me have the phone so that I can actually just read out what's our audience. Because what is an Instagram live conversation without comments? Oh my word. Chai. Oh, I need help now. So we have quite a lot of people commenting. The main issue is when there is a national line, NSDP cadets will have opportunities. When there is a national line, NSDP cadets will have opportunities as private ship owners tend to make decisions with no damn consequences. Wow. So, we have quite a lot. All right, Judy, this sees you too. Some ladies are stronger than others. Yes, we agree. But then if we know that we are combating a war or an army, then we also must be psychologically ready. You're all doing well, ladies, so thumbs up for you. I can't believe this was what they were writing. I have 14 women aspiring to be meds. We need a continental collaborative strategy to tackle challenges on the training of both. That's sailor. So we have another person who says, especially when you're working with foreigners that see Nigerians as a threat, they now see women, they would say, who is a lady to come and take their position? Well, but surprisingly, Angela's story was of being helped by the foreigners. Then the maritime industry, NIMASA should sign an MOU with ship owners to take at least 1% of females on board. We totally agree. We totally agree that we should have up to 1% females on board, and their vessels, we should be helped. We're pleading. Purple firecrackers. Do you girls think female seafarers should be more... Okay, what do you girls think female seafarers should be more focused on? Let's have your last words. One from you on behalf of FESAN, then we'll have your last words on this matter.
Okay, what I would like to say is first of all, I want to appreciate some of the companies who are already considering taking female seafarers on board, because actually we have some, but we still need, we've not expanded enough. Let me use that word. So I want to appreciate them for doing that, and I want to tell them that they should not feel that because we are females, we cannot do it. We can do it. This is something that has to do with the brain. If I can go to school and read, of course, I will be able to prove my competency on board. So they should take away that that mentality or that mindset of now woman, now this one. They should say that we will deliver. They should give us the opportunity and we will deliver. I'm assuring them, and they should open ways for female to have that opportunity, and also we females too. I want to urge us that we should try not to break the ladder for those coming up, because there are a lot of people looking up to join in. Yeah, so they are looking up to join in, and they've had discouragements.
Females antagonizing one another.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Happy, what's your thoughts on this matter? What's your last words? What would you be asking for us to do?
Okay, I'll just say like, you should just try everything possible to make sure that this issue of gender equality just stop, and so that more ladies can come to school, because in some schools we don't really have much ladies. So if it continues like this, we might not even have ladies.
It will thin out completely.
Yes. Yes. So that's what I think.
Okay, so Danke, let's have your opinion, your last words.
Okay. Lastly, I would like to say that we've had women excel to the peak of their careers in various industries. We have Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in the World Trade, who is the first African and the first woman to become the World Trade Organization Director General. We have had the Managing Director of Nigerian Port Authority, Hajia Hadiza Bala, and we've had lots of women who have conquered. So we are supposed to be given an avenue to also prove ourselves and also conquer just the same way as other ladies have done it in the past. Thank you.
Thank you. This
I would say we should please please include the female by signing memorandum and following the blueprints of plans being made to see how we progress, and then so that we can get positive feedbacks. And for the girls, like she said, don't burn the ladder for the next person coming. And for every ship owner, stakeholders in the blueprint, the blue economy, the industry, thinking that it's going to cost them so much to bring the women in because that's why they are having cabin issues and the rest of it. Being able to tackle sexual harassment and all that. There are so many well-behaved girls. In school, we're being taught to be competent in what we do and then in our behavior. So we keep asking, we're pleading that don't think because one girl is badly behaved, the other girl coming next will be.
They also badly behaved boys. We do not generalize.
Yeah, so
Come on.
most of the time that's what we will face. Because I was telling somebody that just from Bristol, I was hearing stories about just a particular girl. And it wasn't just stories. At the end of the day, we weren't finding facts, they were true. So because of that particular girl, this entire company said they're not going to employ girls. And then when you go there, you not see the boys. So since there's no punishment for bad behavior for the boys, not the girls, they just decide, since we're a minority, to pull us back. So we're just pleading that they should overlook that and keep moving with us.
All right, thank you, Disa. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for making our time to be here with us today. And a summary of what was said so far. There is obviously a stereotype in the industry against female seafarers. And, you have things like sexual harassment. You have the cabins that are said not to be available. You have people who have to prove extra, that they are capable. Women having to prove extra they are capable. And ladies burning the ladder. We have ship owners who seem not to care, right? So, and we need a policy from government in this direction. That's our consensus from FESAN today. So thank you very much for joining us today. I hope it was a pleasant show. And I hope that our guests, everyone who tuned in today, they were able to actually get one or two things from this. By the grace of God, we'll keep pushing and our voices will be heard. But don't back out, don't back down. That's what we'll be telling you from Maritime TV. We'll need you there fighting. Oh, you sound like you're ready to leave.
I'm here to stay.
You're here to stay. So any support you would want from us, we're ready to hand it over to you. Would be here to support you would prevail on this in this industry. So thank you again for joining us. And make sure you like our pages. I'm sure you already like us on Instagram. Guest at home, like us on Instagram, maritimetv.news. Like us on YouTube, maritimetv.news. Like us on Facebook, maritimetv.news too. Until we come your way again, same time next week. This is the end of the show today. I'm your host, Seafarer'S. Do stay blessed and have a pleasant weekend.